Option A. Most travelers spend $85 on TSA PreCheck and think they are set, but 63% of them are leaving a better deal sitting on the table. One program costs just $17 more and gives you everything PreCheck does, plus skips international customs, plus crosses the Canadian border in under 2 minutes. Most people have never even heard of it. Option B. The average international traveler loses 47 minutes every single trip standing in the customs line. That is nearly 4 hours a year, wasted, when a single 15-minute enrollment appointment fixes it permanently for 5 years. Option C. Here is something that will frustrate you. TSA PreCheck costs $85. Global Entry costs $100. NEXUS costs $50. And NEXUS gives you all three, PreCheck, Global Entry benefits, and Canadian border access, for half the price. If you paid full price for PreCheck, you made an $85 mistake when a $50 program would have covered you completely. Final hook, Option C. Here is something that will frustrate you. TSA PreCheck costs $85. Global Entry costs $100. NEXUS costs $50. And NEXUS gives you all three, PreCheck, Global Entry benefits, and Canadian border access, for half the price. If you paid full price for PreCheck, you made an $85 mistake when a $50 program would have covered you completely. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you will know exactly which program belongs in your wallet and which ones you should never pay for separately. Let us lay the foundation. There are 4 trusted traveler programs run by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and they are not created equal. Most travelers know 1, maybe 2. Almost nobody knows how they stack against each other or how to get the most value for the least money. Here is a quick snapshot of all 4. TSA PreCheck. Cost, $85 for 5 years. What it does, gets you into the fast security lane at over 200 U.S. airports. No removing shoes, no pulling out laptops, no taking off your belt. Domestic travel becomes dramatically faster. That is it. PreCheck is domestic security only. It does nothing for customs when you return from international travel. Global Entry. Cost, $100 for 5 years. What it does, gets you through customs and border protection when you return to the United States from an international trip. You use a kiosk, skip the officer line, and you are out in minutes. Global Entry also includes TSA PreCheck automatically. So for $15 more than PreCheck, you get everything PreCheck does plus international customs access. NEXUS. Cost, $50 for 5 years. What it does, covers U.S.-Canada border crossings by land, air, and sea, gives you Global Entry equivalent access when returning to the U.S. from international travel at participating airports, and includes TSA PreCheck. That is 3 benefits for half the price of Global Entry. SENTRI. Cost, $122.25 for 5 years. What it does, covers U.S.-Mexico land border crossings with a dedicated fast lane. It also includes Global Entry and TSA PreCheck. If you drive across the southern border regularly, SENTRI is built for you. Let us get into what using each program actually looks like in real life. With TSA PreCheck, you see a dedicated security lane at the airport. You scan your boarding pass, walk through a standard metal detector, not a full body scanner, and you keep your shoes on, your laptop in your bag, and your jacket on. For frequent domestic flyers, this saves real time every single trip. With Global Entry, the experience is at the International Arrivals Terminal. You approach a Global Entry kiosk, scan your passport or U.S. permanent resident card, complete a quick customs declaration, and get a receipt. You hand that receipt to an officer and walk out. No standing in a line that can run 45 minutes to over an hour depending on the airport and the flight schedule. You also get TSA PreCheck automatically printed on your boarding pass, no separate enrollment needed. With NEXUS, the enrollment process is more involved because it is jointly administered by CBP and the Canada Border Services Agency. You need an interview at a joint enrollment center, which are located near the U.S.-Canada border. Once approved, you get a NEXUS card, access to NEXUS lanes at land crossings, expedited processing at seaports, global entry equivalent kiosk access at over 60 participating U.S. airports for international arrivals, and TSA PreCheck. The catch is eligibility. You must be a U.S. citizen, U.S. permanent resident, or Canadian citizen or permanent resident. If you travel frequently between the U.S. and Canada, NEXUS is the obvious best value on the market. With SENTRI, you get a dedicated lane for personal vehicles crossing the southern border. SENTRI also covers pedestrian lanes. Like the others, it requires a background check and an in-person interview. SENTRI members also receive global entry and TSA PreCheck, which makes it a strong value for people who live near or frequently visit Mexico. Mistake number 1, paying for TSA PreCheck when they could have global entry for $15 more. This is the most common mistake we see. If you ever travel internationally, even once every few years, global entry is the obvious upgrade. The $15 difference is negligible. The customs line you skip is not. Mistake number 2, not knowing that global entry includes PreCheck. People enroll in both separately and waste $85. You do not need both. Global entry covers you at security and customs. Mistake number 3, US-Canada travelers paying for global entry when NEXUS costs half as much and does more for their specific travel pattern. If you cross into Canada regularly, NEXUS is almost certainly your best program. Mistake number 4, applying without preparing. Global entry has a conditional approval step and then a mandatory in-person interview at an enrollment center or when you land from an international flight. People get conditionally approved and then wait months because they do not schedule the interview promptly or they show up without the right documents. Mistake number 5, letting their membership lapse. You can renew global entry up to a year before it expires and keep using it during processing. People who wait until expiration face a gap in coverage. But here is what almost every traveler gets completely wrong about this. They assume global entry is only useful when returning from international trips. That is the headline benefit, yes, but what almost nobody realizes is that your TSA PreCheck benefit from global entry works even on purely domestic flights where you never leave the country. Every domestic trip you take, every work trip, every weekend flight, you get PreCheck automatically. That means global entry is not just an international travel tool. It is a full-time upgrade to your entire travel life for 5 years. When you calculate the cost per trip, most frequent flyers are paying less than $5 per year for a program that saves them time on every single flight they take. That reframe changes everything about how you think about the value here. Smart travelers first assess their travel pattern honestly. If you fly internationally and cross into Canada regularly, NEXUS at $50 is your best move. It covers everything for less than any other single program. If you live near the Mexican border and drive across frequently, SENTRI gives you the southern border fast lane plus everything else. If your travel is primarily international with no regular Canada or Mexico border crossings, global entry at $100 is your strongest all-around choice. And if you genuinely only fly domestic, TSA PreCheck at $85 is fine, but we would still suggest looking at whether a $100 global entry investment makes sense for any future international travel. Smart travelers also check whether their credit card covers the fee. Cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Amex Platinum, and many other premium travel cards offer statement credits that cover global entry or PreCheck enrollment completely. If you have one of those cards, your global entry is effectively free. For more on navigating the application and interview process, globalentrypriority.com is a solid resource with up-to-date information on processing times and what to expect at each stage. Step 1. Go to the CBP Trusted Traveler Programs website at ttp.cbp.dhs.gov. Create an account. This is the official government portal. Step 2. Select your program. Use this guide, Global Entry if you travel internationally. NEXUS if you travel between the US and Canada. SENTRI if you cross the US-Mexico land border regularly. TSA PreCheck only if none of the above apply. Step 3. Complete the online application. You will answer background questions, employment history, and travel history. This takes 20 to 30 minutes. Be thorough and accurate. Step 4. Pay the fee. Global entry is $100. NEXUS is $50. SENTRI is $122.25. TSA PreCheck is $85. Fees are non-refundable regardless of outcome. Step 5. Wait for conditional approval. This can take anywhere from a few days to several weeks depending on your background. Most applicants with clean records receive conditional approval within 1 to 2 weeks. Step 6. Schedule your interview. Do not wait on this. Appointment availability at enrollment centers varies significantly by location. Some major cities have wait times of several months. Book the earliest available appointment. You can also complete your interview at an international airport upon arrival from an overseas trip if your account is conditionally approved. Step 7. Attend your interview. Bring your valid passport, a second form of ID, and any documentation requested. The interview is brief, typically 10 to 15 minutes. An officer will verify your identity and review your application. Step 8. Receive approval and activate your membership. Your known traveler number will be available in your TTP account. Add it to your airline profiles immediately so it appears on your boarding passes. For detailed guidance on the interview process specifically, check globalentrypriority.com. They have a thorough breakdown of what officers ask and how to prepare. 4 programs. 1 decision. Here is how to make it clean. If you travel internationally, global entry at $100, full stop. It includes PreCheck and gets you through customs in minutes. If you travel between the US and Canada, NEXUS at $50, it does everything global entry does and more, for half the price. If you cross the US-Mexico border by land regularly, SENTRI at $122.25, the southern border fast lane plus global entry and PreCheck included. If you only fly domestic and never leave the country, TSA PreCheck at $85, but seriously consider whether $100 for global entry makes more long-term sense. Do not pay for PreCheck if you have global entry. Do not pay for global entry if NEXUS covers your travel pattern. And check your credit card benefits before you pay anything, because there is a real chance this costs you nothing out of pocket. 1 enrollment. 1 interview. 5 years of skipping lines every time you travel. That is the deal. Take it. If this video helped you figure out which program is right for you, hit subscribe. We publish new videos every week on global entry, trusted traveler programs, and making every trip through the airport faster and less painful. We will see you in the next one.